Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Yule. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. As I get this set up, Yule wanted me to do a commentary on the 2000 film X-Men. So it's been forever since I've seen this. The first three X-Men's I don't mind for what they are. I would say the second one's the best. After that, I pretty much lost interest. Also, the director, Bryan Singer, from everything that's out there, seems like a complete piece of dog crap, sexual allegations, underage, all that horrible stuff. But let's get into a 3, 2, 1 pressing play on X-Men from 2000, 20th Century Fox. But yeah, like Bryan Singer has had many allegations labeled against him throughout the years of underage minors, whether some people on apt pupil, like extras, and other people throughout the years. I mean, going back to 1997. So it wasn't just like last year or 2, 3 years ago, but like 1997, there was allegations of it. So Bryan Singer could very well be, because I wasn't there, I don't know for certain, but it seems like any. Well, what are you talking about? This is the guy directed a lot of these, except like the third one. Then Brett Ratner apparently was another creep. God, the more you look, and the more there's like more fucking weird creeps. Keep in your fucking pants and don't go after underage people. Is that so fucking hard? It's goddamn morality to it. You're making movies about morality and prejudice. It just can't be a decent fucking human being. Pisses me off for these fucks. But yeah, this came out July in 2000. Huge hit. Cost $75 million, which is not a lot compared to movies today. And this movie's not 2.5, 3 hours long. It's an hour and 47 minutes, which is surprising. Nowadays, it would be easily over 2 hours. Now here we're in 1944, Nazi-occupied Poland. This is a young Magneto, and we're going to show a bit of his backstory. This did get a lot of praise from critics, but I believe it got 2 thumbs up on Roger Ebert's show. No, 2 thumbs down. I believe it got 2 thumbs down on Roger Ebert's show. I mean, it says here, at first there was talks of making a film in 1984 with Orion Pictures, but Orion faced a lot of finance troubles. And then Terrico Pictures had it. Terrico, company that released Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3, Total Recall, Universal Soldier. Then by the time you got to the early 90s, they were facing trouble. But around that time, James Cameron wanted to produce it. Catherine Bigelow was going to direct it. She wrote a script. Some of Bob Hoskins was going to be Wolverine. I don't know how the hell that would work. That seems like a very bad choice. Angela Bassett as Storm, I could see that. But then James Cameron wanted to do Spider-Man, and that never came up and was done. Terrico went bankrupt. And then one thing led to another, and Fox picked it up. Because Fox Kids was releasing the X-Men cartoon. Like, wow, people like this X-Men cartoon, let's do the movie. And Lauren Shuler Donner produced it. I think one of the early scripts was written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote Seven. Andrew Kevin Walker's draft had Professor X recruiting Wolverine into the X-Men, which had Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. And they would fight the Brotherhood of Mutants, Magneto, Sabretooth, Toad, Juggernaut, and the Blob, who were trying to conquer New York City. And then there would also be Sentinels to be chasing after them. There was also the X-Copter, the Danger Room. There was a lot of rewrites. An earlier script kept the idea of Magneto turning Manhattan into a mutant homeland, while another hinged on a romance between Wolverine and Storm. One was about Wolverine and Jubilee. That's the thing, like, pretty much the same thing here. Instead of Road, it would be Jubilee. Which makes sense because Jubilee was in the cartoon at the time. Brett Ratner at one point was considered to direct. Robert Rodriguez was considered to direct, but he turned it down. Paul W. Anderson was considered because Mortal Kombat was a hit, but he's like, I want to do Event Horizon. Then Bryan Singer done The Usual Suspects. They're like, hey, how about you? He's like, I'm not into comics. Then read the comics and the cartoon and said, wow, there's some serious issues that could be dealt with in this movie. Like, I don't know, don't fuck little kids in the ass. Sorry, that's another issue that Bryan Singer apparently can't understand. They made Rogue an important character because Bryan Singer recognized that her mutation, which renders her unable to touch anyone, as we see here, was the most symbolic of alienation. Merged attributes of Kitty Pryde and Jubilee into the film's depiction of Rogue. Stuff in the script had to be taken out. The character of Beast, the character of Nightcrawler, the character of Pyro, and the Danger Room had to be deleted before the studio greenlit X-Men. And there's a lot of writers. There was Christopher McQuarrie, Joss Whedon, who apparently is another asshole. David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. He was a writer, David Hayter, and he was also the star of Diver 2 Dark Hero. So he was an actor, voice actor, but he was also a writer. One time was an assistant to Bryan Singer. And for casting, there was talks of Russell Crowe, but he said no. There was talks of Viggo Mortensen, but he said no. Doug Ray Scott from Mission Impossible 2 got the job as Wolverine, but then Mission Impossible 2 got delayed, and he got injured while making it. And Doug Ray Scott has to be thinking about that every day. All that money lost. Like, I did Mission Impossible 2. If I had waited and done X-Men, look at all the movies that maybe would have been made. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe Doug Ray Scott would have been awful as Wolverine. I don't know. But Hugh Jackman did a wonderful job. Now we have Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. Famke Janssen, I remember from the film Deep Rising with Tree Williams. Love her in that. She was also in the House on Haunted Hill remake. Goldeneye, ready to squeeze Pierce Brosnan's head between her thighs. Thunder thighs. And the guy complaining, the senator, is Bruce Davison, who is probably most famous to being in the original Willard movie, who plays, what was his name, Senator Kelly, Bruce Davison, an anti-mutant politician who wishes to ban mutant children from schools using a Mutant Registration Act, which is a big part of the plot. But Bruce Davison, yeah, the original Willard is one of his claim to fame. And then we saw Charles Xavier played by Patrick Stewart, which, for what I understand, he was one of the only choices they had for Xavier. Which made sense. I mean, when people saw Star Trek The Next Generation, and they looked at Professor X, it just seemed like Patrick Stewart was the right call. And I will say one of the good points of this movie is the casting. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen as Xavier and Magneto. And Ian McKellen will soon after, he had worked with Bryan Singer on Apt Pupil, and soon after this would do Lord of the Rings as Gandalf, which is huge. Doing X-Men and Lord of the Rings must have set him up for life. But yeah, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen being cast in both these roles was a huge get for this movie. God, they look so young. I mean, they're older, but compared to today, they look so young. But these two just bring such a distinguished persona to this film. They bring such a... We don't take this project seriously. This is not just a cartoon movie. And at this point, I don't even know what Hugh Jackman had done. Because he did a wonderful job as Wolverine. Even films that suck, Hugh Jackman's not the problem as Wolverine. Sadly, other than X-Men, his track record is pretty awful. I mean, if I look at his filmography, I mean, he was only in Paperback Hero in '99, Erskine Teens in '99. I mean, he had barely done anything. Episode of Law of the Land in '94. The Man from Snowy River, 5 episodes, '96. I haven't heard of these. Halifax FP in '98. It's like Australian TV shows, that's why. And after this is when he just went... Of course, you get the idea of Wolverine, like who this guy is. He does these bare-knuckle brawls, and he can't be hurt. His skeleton is adamantium. He heals. So he did get drawn, take a beating, and all he has to do is boom! And yeah, I think his fists are made of metal, so... You know, it would not take much effort for him to beat up a normal person with that put into play. And it's interesting they had make it so that you don't see his face clearly. It's in shadow or hidden behind the cage. You know, all that stuff. And after this, he would do films like Swordfish, Van Helsing, Scoop, The Fountain, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Real Steel, Rise of the Guardians, Movie 43, Chappie. Like, really bad track record. I mean, people would say Prisoners, which, this wasn't for me. I don't think it's a bad film, it's just not for me. But Prestige I didn't mind for what it is. Did not mind the Prestige. I mean, fuck, I hate to say it, but it seems like Van Helsing is one of his better movies away from X-Men. That's sad. But those X-Men films definitely kept him going, you know, leading up to Logan. But like Pan, Chappie, those bomb Movie 43, fought that Real Steel. I think Real Steel was a hit though, but thankfully they did not make a sequel. There you go. And the reveal. They still look pretty decent, the claws. I mean, for 2000, they don't look that bad. Especially that inner one where it comes out of the middle part of the hand. There you go. Remember just showing the loner I mean, he definitely had the mannerism, the look, the attitude. I mean, it was definitely a star-making turn for Hugh Jackman. He did a great job as Wolverine. Sad he never got into the costume, but it is what it is. People complain with the Punisher and Dolph Lundgren's film never had a skull. Well, Wolverine never had his costume, but people are cool. They even make fun of it. What do you want, yellow spandex? So again, like, people were fine with that, but they were mad when Dolph Lundgren didn't have a skull. Well, he's just like an average guy. Well, so does Wolverine. Until his claws come out. And the Punisher until his guns come out. Here we have the loner. Bit of backstory, bit of history you find out through the franchise. Sally, X-Men Origins Wolverine. So I'm just looking at this. Jim Caviezel was originally cast as Cyclops, but backed out because he was filming Frequency, which is a great movie. So then James Marsden got it, who's now in the new Sonic films. Rachel Lee Cook was considered for a role of Rogue. She later admitted that she regretted her decision to turn the role down. Charlize Theron was offered Jean Grey, but she turned it down. So it goes Famke Janssen got it. Original start date was mid-1999. Release date set for Christmas 2000. Fox moved X-Men to June. Finished the film 6 months ahead of schedule, although the film may have been pushed back. Yeah, these are the allegations. During production, Singer would allegedly arrive late, experience mood swings, and explosive tantrums. At the time, Singer claimed to be taking medication for back pain. Cast and crew members found Singer's drug use too problematic. Kevin Feige, the film's associate producer, I didn't know he was involved with this, was flown on set to ensure that Singer was kept in line. He was accused of giving small roles to younger actors and minors in exchange for sex. Several sources close to the Hollywood Reporter claimed the story meetings were unprofessional, even by eccentric auteur standards. He was bringing in young guys who were now involved with the project to the meetings. But no one said anything. No one did anything. No one thought of anything. Everyone just kept quiet to get their paychecks. What you, Kevin Feige? Kevin Feige? Kevin Feige. Yes, I was mispronouncing his name because I don't give a shit about most people in Hollywood. Kevin Feige. You didn't think that was weird? You didn't think anything of it? You're producing this? I'm fucking blind. Do you want to be? Fucking hell. Damn, that's a big hit. You're fucked up, man. That's how you wear a goddamn seatbelt. Wear a fucking seatbelt next time, Logan. Stupid. That's a little bit of your healing factor you get to see. And that's the thing. The sad thing about Wolverine is that, you know, in this heyday, all the stuff that you could and might be able to see, and you had to hold back because of the rating. So this is Tyler Mane as Sabretooth, and in retrospect, how is it that Liev Schreiber and X-Men Origins Wolverine would later on become this guy? Like, look at the way he looks, the way he's dressed. Like, he doesn't remember Logan either. He barely talks. He barely has any dialogue. And, you know, like, seriously? But what the hell? There we go. Halle Berry is telling you to freeze. Cyclops do a little bit of something. Again, like, you go from Liev Schreiber and X-Men Origins Wolverine to this more like feral, looking completely different size, no recognized features to Wolverine, nothing at all. So, Cyclops and Storm saved Rogue and Wolverine. That's Ray Park as Toad. This is Ray Park's actual voice, because a lot of times he'd be cast in dubs, like Darth Maul. He played Darth Maul in Phantom Menace, he was dubbed. But yeah, Ray Park plays Toad. And Ray Parker's a martial artist. He was been in a lot of stuff. He was Snake Eyes in G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra and the sequel. He was in... Let me see. Yeah, he was in The Phantom Menace. He was a stunt double for the film Mortal Kombat Annihilation, doing the stunts for both Robin Chow and James Remar. Also did a cameo as Baraka in that piece of crap. He was Christopher Walken's fight stunt double for the film Sleepy Hollow. He appeared in the scene where Walken's tear to the Headless Horseman murders the Killian family and Brom Bones, among others. So wow, he was the Headless Horseman. And he was Snake Eyes. Which it wasn't bad, just in that first G.I. Joe, don't have the fucking DSL dick-sucking lips on it. He would have been... I mean, I didn't see the new Snake Eyes, because I'm like, why? You know what Snake Eyes is? The suit. The agility. There you go. Wolverine's pissed. Well, he's not just pissed, he's scared. He doesn't like being imprisoned, considering his past. Test subject. And it worked out because you have this new... You're in the characters and the audience's point of view. We're introduced to everything the same way Wolverine is introduced to everything. And it makes sense for him to be the star, because he was the most popular character in the X-Men comics. You know, the X-Men cartoon, Wolverine. When people think of X-Men, the first thing they think of is Wolverine, so it makes sense he's the star. And lo and behold, you look at this film, you know what? You could do that with the Ninja Turtles movie. Instead of Wolverine, it's Raphael. You can't do it. Well, this film did it. The hell are you talking about? But for some reason, if they don't have a human face, then it's like, oh, you always can't identify with it. Well, then maybe you suck. You need to get better writing and directing. Or maybe you take people too much for fools. There's some audience members that are fools, but there's a lot who are not. This is his realization this is a school, and a school for mutants. Of course, this idea here of her walking through it. Yeah, titty pride. There you go. What the fuck? The school for mutants. I mean, that's the thing is, with all these characters, it's hard to give them the right amount of screen time because, like, how do you do it? You have Wolverine and Cyclops. You got Storm. You got Jean Grey. You got Professor X. You got Rogue. You got to build up Rogue because she's an important part of the plot. You got to build up Wolverine because even in a group, there's got to be one that stands out the most, and there's got to be a star, whether a character, actor, whatever it may be. Like people say, Avengers, it'd be Robert Downey Jr. And how do you balance all those people? You have to develop something about them noteworthy, plus the villains, plus what the story is, plus leave room for action scenes, because people do want to see action scenes. It's tough. Again, I mean, you're dealing with Logan, Xavier, Magneto, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Storm, Rogue, and then, bad guys. The other bad guys. But even then, that's still like 7 big featured people. Plus, at the end of the story, you're introducing what the school is. You're introducing who they are, what their powers are, everything in between. And of course, we have the black suits. I would bet a reason it's black suits is because of the Matrix. Granted, that's kind of Jubilee, I guess, with the yellow. I mean, I'm guessing that's Jubilee. But, and that's supposed to be Pyro, which is a different actor for Pyro in the next movie. Which sadly, I think Pyro was one of the people that got messed with Bryan Singer. Yeah, I wasn't there. I don't know for certain, but how many times is there, fucking fire? Well, there's so much smoke. How much smoke do you see before you realize there's a fucking fire? Of course, that's Iceman, played by Shawn Ashmore, who would be in the sequel. And the thing is, like, these allegations had happened from time to time, and no one said or did anything. Not even the actors. Rather, the actors maybe signed a contract they had to, but it's like, if I mean '97, there. I mean, rather, there's maybe people that didn't hear about them because they don't follow a person's life day by day. And it's not like even back then, 2000 was like how it is now with the internet, where things are much faster spread of information. But yeah, but a lot of this is a build-up of the school, showcasing what's going on with the school. And I think that's the thing with this film is I don't mind the film. I prefer X-Men 2 because you've introduced them, you're straight out of the gate, you get that great action scene with Nightcrawler, and then you're off to the races. Here, understandably so, you have to do a lot of setup. You have to set up again the characters. Who's Wolverine? Who is Rogue? What's the school? What is all this? And then we're 30 minutes in, and now we're introducing sort of the propulsion of the plot, which is one of these characters is Mystique, played by Rebecca Romijn-Stamos. She was with John Stamos of Full House at the time. And I don't remember when that was no longer a thing. But Mystique, Magneto's second command, who can alter her shape, mimic anybody. Let's see. She divorced John Stamos in 2005. And then she married Jerry O'Connell. So she's married to Jerry O'Connell right now. She married him in 2007. But yeah, Rebecca Romijn-Stamos, and she's going to pop up. She was a model. She appeared in ads for Tommy Hilfiger, Got Milk commercials, Miller Lite. This was her first major role. And you look at that blue... I mean, it's naked, but be able to be fully naked, but the blue hides it, but she is fully naked. I mean, pretty damn sexy, I gotta say. Although maybe sexier to a Smurf. I don't know, maybe Smurf, they're tired of blue because they see blue everywhere. They're like, I don't want blue. But yeah, she was also in the Rollerball remake, which was awful. The Punisher, which I enjoyed from 2004. Godsend, another bad movie. But yeah, I do like the 2004 Punisher. Godsend, that was the one with Robert De Niro as a psycho doctor. And he like put some of his son as a clone into this married couple. And yeah. But yeah, she divorced John Stamos in 2005, and then again Jerry O'Connell married in 2007. She was in the second season of Star Trek Discovery. Oh great, STD, playing the role number 1 of the USS Enterprise. Really? Spin-off series Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Great. Voice of Lois Lane in an adaptation of The Death of Superman. Well, yeah, Professor X pretty much just told the audience, I don't think Magneto wants Wolverine. I mean, so the fact that they keep that up throughout it, it's like, yeah, he doesn't want Wolverine, he wants Rogue. That's what it is. they still try to maintain, hey, Wolverine's the lead. There's got to be something about him, his healing factor or his adamantium. Nope, it's Rogue. And that's the thing with the Mystique character, again, with the timeline. So we're supposed to think this Mystique was like a sister type of character to Professor Xavier back in the day, and X-Men First Class, and these other movies. Like, Xavier and Mystique had this close relationship. Funny how it never came up in this, never came up in 2, never came up in 3. You would think that would come up. You would think that would come up in conversation. Hey, Mystique, I know you're with Xavier. You're kind of almost like brother sister, and what shall we do here? What shall we think here? What the hell, man? So pretty much Magneto, he loves mutants, he thinks mutants should rule the world, and pretty much wants to turn everyone, or I think as many as they can, into a mutant. I believe that's the goal. And that's the thing that you watch. See, this is the draining of life force. Pretty much this over, yeah. Don't change Bruce Davison into, it doesn't affect mutants, but it affects humans. I mean, in a way, watch this again. It's very mundane in retrospect. The first X-Men. It's a very mundane affair. When you compare it to a film of today, the cast is what makes it work, and they actually are trying to develop characters. Like, they try and develop Jean Grey and Wolverine and this possible tension. Damn, tits are just ready to break out of the sweater. You can't have that nowadays, that'd be too sexist. She's lucky the nipples are not, but the bulge hole right through the shirt. I think she's a beautiful woman, yes, I can say that. She's not underage like these fucking sickos. Man, because I'm just one of those that liked older. I like older. 5 years older, 10 years older. They know what they're doing. All these sickos want younger. I'm like, I think older is better. Teach me. Doesn't mean you have to be a gilf, but for fuck's sake, 3, 4, 5 years older, that's good for me. Or 3 years younger than me, like 30. What's wrong with 30? Is 30 a bad age? Can the woman be, or I guess a lot of them is like guys, like a guy like 30, fine. If you were into guys, they'd be 30. That's why he's like keep talking about just Bryan Singer directed it. And then you get that love triangle tension. With all the issues apparently Bryan Singer had behind the scenes, why didn't they just get a different director in the second film? Well, I mean, because the first one made so much money, so they wanted to keep going with the director. But I'm like, again, it's the fact that it's a superhero movie, and this was not. I mean, superhero films were available, as in they were being made, but they were not as often as way things are nowadays. Yeah, shut up, I'm doing something. Yeah, don't wake up the guy having a nightmare. It's not going to end well, trust me. But here's yet the remnants of his Weapon X program, which you see more in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now that's a way to wake up. Don't wake up like that. There you go. But this is what you call setup for the payoff. We do this to set up that she can do this, where she heals, he gets sicker, but then he can survive that as well because of his healing factor. So again, it's a setup for the end of the film. But at least there is a setup for the payoff, so it just doesn't come out of nowhere. So, give credit where credit is due. And this sort of almost father dynamic between Xavier and Logan, which would later definitely come into play in Logan, which is a film that I like, but I have issues with it. It is weird looking at it because it's like, if you look at it with this continuity, it's very, very depressing. Because like everything they worked for in these movies became pointless because everyone died and all the fighting and saving the world was ended up being pointless. So it's just, I don't know, just this weird thing of, I don't know, weird bit of business. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, it's a weird ass effect. It's like, that's not a effect that really holds up the best. I mean, it's 2000, yeah. A lot of the CGI in this era just does not hold up. I mean, to be fair, it really does, and that's why to me, yeah, I'm more practical, map paintings, all this stuff. That's my bread and butter. To me, that's definitely the better course of action for a lot of these movies. Is practical, but also, I mean, there's definitely a lot less effects in this film compared to so many films today. Because what I was saying is that there's so many damn superhero films. And yeah, there's some I like, there's some I enjoy, but lately, other than the Batman, Joker, I liked the new Suicide Squad, and then what? I didn't mind Shazam, to be fair. What was the other one I liked? Doctor Strange was what, 2016? But yeah, Joker, the Batman, the new Suicide Squad. I mean, it's just so tiresome. It's so oversaturated. Can't even talk. Oversaturated, overdone, overblown. Oh shit, it's Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees? It's Jason Voorhees from the first Friday 13th. He's bald and his face is fucked up. He's a mongoloid. Don't worry. This isn't Camp Crystal Lake, so he won't try to kill you. That's a native man. See, they're not worried about that. They're worried that he's got his dick out. That's why they're out of it. Like, just put your dick back in your pants. You have no pants. We'll get him some pants. He's like, give me some fucking pants. There you go. Get some pants on. God damn it. I'm trying to, is this Iceman or is this Mystique? This might be Mystique. It's been a while since I've seen this. It's been at least 10 years, probably. Yeah, that's Mystique. Like, just the look on the face. That demeanor. But you're only listening to one random... Yeah, there you go, with the eye. Charles Xavier, you just said maybe it's not him you're looking into. Maybe it's not him who's been chosen. You said that before, Xavier. You said that before, so why are you backing out now? Here we got the introduction of Cerebro. But I was saying, like, superhero films are just so common, and especially Disney, with, I'm just tired of it. Tired of comic book movies, superhero. Even though there were ones I enjoy, but it just... I mean, at this time, you had only, there's stuff in before Batman in '89, Punisher was in '89, in 1990 you had like Captain America, Dick Tracy. It is technically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was comic book, but I mean it wasn't 15. Was that? To be fair, it's not 15, but it feels like every couple months. I mean, even then, Spider-Man No Way Home. They have the Batman. They have Morbius. They have Doctor Strange. You have Black Adam. You don't have whatever the hell else is next. Like, that'd be something to look at. This year and 2023. Just like this year in films, this was the top 10. If I can find it. Mission Impossible 2 was number 1. This is the U.S. Gladiator number 2. Castaway number 3. What Women Want, a comedy of number 4. Dinosaur, the Disney animated, number 5. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, number 6. Meet the Parents, number 7. Meet the Perfect Storm, number 8. X-Men, number 9. What Lies Beneath, number 10. Actually, a pretty lame year for movies, to be honest, but you look into it. I mean, I like Castaway quite a bit, and like Next Friday was fun. The list goes on. If I go through it all, which I won't. But then you look at 2022 in film, you see like what's coming in the future, or even 2023. Here we got Super Speed. Speed Demon! That's some really bad effects with the... Yeah, you can tell he's not in the same reality as those effects. But okay, 2023, some of the films. Kraven the Hunter. Now that Morbius was such a hit, right? We got Kraven the Hunter. You got The Marvels in February. Just Brave the Hunters in January. The Marvels in February. Aquaman and Lost Kingdom in March. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May. The Flash supposedly in June. Although Ezra Miller is a fruitcake. Ant-Man and the Wasp in July. Quantumania. Was going to have Hulk Hogan for Hulkamania. Fuck is that? Blue Beetle. Gives a crap about Blue Beetle. That's in August. Almost every damn month is a superhero. I did like Kraven the Hunter in January, I mentioned. Marvels in February. Aquaman in March. Like I say, April, nothing. May, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. June, The Flash, maybe. July, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. August, Blue Beetle. September, then there'll be some stuff announced. This is 2023. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, man. Ridiculous. Even this year, I mean, you have, like you said, you have Morbius, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, that's in May. Thor, Love and Thunder, supposedly in July. There's a new, wait a minute, DC League of Super Pets. Jesus Christ. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Although, you know what, I did like the first one, so I gotta be honest on it. That's another one I did like, I didn't mention that. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Shazam Fury of the Gods. I don't know when Black Adam supposedly. Sorry, on a quick note. Oh my God. They're doing a remake of House Party. I didn't even realize this. HBO Max July 2022. There's a remake of House Party? Sorry, I mean, directed by Calmatic. Who the hell is Calmatic? Well, commercial director making ads for Target, Sprite, and other brands. Alright. Holy spit. As in shit. Calmatic is doing it. Yay! He directed the music video Old Town Road with Lil Nas. Oh my God. So we have the... Start talking about the... Sorry, I just went on a tangent. Here's really, I mean, one of the few action bits with the X-Men. I mean, you saw a little bit earlier where they try to fight Sabretooth. This bit here, Cyclops, Toad fucked up Cyclops thing to wreck the roof. The Storm fried Sabretooth. Quit playing around. I think it's weird that we had this feral Sabretooth, and supposedly before this it was Liev Schreiber. I just... No one paid attention apparently, or gave a crap. And this is the bit here where we realize that Magneto doesn't want Wolverine, of course. Wants Rogue. This doesn't look too bad, opening the trains. breaking it apart like that. And the reason he's wearing the helmet is so that Professor Xavier can't get in there telepathically. And of course, it's the worst villain to fight against Magneto since he has all this metal. Which I remember there's a comic where Magneto actually pulled the metal out of Wolverine's body. Whoever said I wanted you? And maybe I did see this in a theater. I might have seen this in the theater because... yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I do remember the VHS having the VHS of it. So yeah, I can't remember which one it was. So where are the other X-Men? Like, where's Storm? Where's Cyclops? Where are they? And of course, when the X-Men is in their infancy, so there's not many of them. I guess technically there's... I guess really there's 4 in the field. Although, like, where's Jean Grey? Why isn't Jean Grey there? It's just, Cyclops and Storm. Here's Magneto getting all their weapons. Of course, Toad took his Cyclops visor you see on there. There's Professor X with Jean Grey. And that's where you get the idea why Ian McKellen is so adamant about this whole thing. It's his history in the 1940s with being in prison, Nazi concentration camps, and not wanting to go through that again. And I do think this is an interesting idea, like being able to control all these guns, the bullets, all that stuff. I think one starts going into a guy's head, like the very tip. And that shows the difference between the two. Patrick Stewart doesn't want anyone hurt, good or bad, while Ian McKellen is willing to sacrifice, willing to do what it takes. Like I said, those two actors were such a great fit. They really brought a lot to the proceeding. I will say the look of the film is not too bad, because a lot of it is on... There's not a lot of, oh, this is a total green screen, and you don't have a lot of those filters. So, like, cinematography-wise, it doesn't look bad at all. Like, the lighting, there's a lot of natural lighting, actual sets, not a lot of green screen, not, filters put in after the fact to make it look a certain color, certain scheme of things. So, it's kind of refreshing to look at in that way. And Halle Berry. Halle Berry, in retrospect, I don't think she's that bad as Storm. I mean, could there be better actresses? Perhaps, but I like Halle Berry. Maybe that's why. I loved her in Kidnap. I thought she did a good job in John Wick 4. I mean, 4. That's not out yet. John Wick 3. And yeah, John Wick 3, Kidnap. Yeah, I like Halle Berry. Yeah, she was in Catwoman, but no one could save Catwoman. Even if it was a different actress, it would still be a bad movie. Bad script, bad effects, bad direction, bad idea. This is a bad idea. It's a bad call, Ripley. It's a bad call. As we would put it. What do you mean, bad call? This stuff that you think is important, you kiss all that goodbye. But you try to relax. I'm not Bryan Singer. I'm not going to take off your pants. Look into my mind, Quaid. Look into my mind. Start the reactor, Quaid. Start the reactor. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, do you have an excuse to let him be able to walk, at least? And have it make sense to the audience. And just this Xavier character was so unlikable in the earlier, the prequel films. I just did not like the character at all. He was just an asshole. And just did not care for him in the slightest. James McAvoy. I'm not a fan of those movies. Again, the only ones I can stomach X-Men is the first 3. That's as far as I go. The others, not for me, man. Not for me. Just not for me. Not for me. Transfer her power to Rogue, and then Rogue uses the machine. And this is the death of Senator Kelly, Bruce Davison's character. Sorry, I'm not saying much. Well, yeah, you're wanting to exterminate them. Why would she fucking love every single person? I think Bruce Davison, they did kind of have him come back later with Mystique. That whole thing, but I'm sure there's a part of us like, man, yeah, that's another weird effect. Him turn to water. Well, for the time, I think they did what they could for the time. Pretty damn crazy. Like I said, in retrospect, this is a very mundane, like, almost like a quiet film compared to a film of today. I think you look at the action spectacle, you have some of those little bits at the beginning, I meant, and that little train station thing. And I think, again, that's why I don't really watch this much, because it's not really the most exciting movie in retrospect. Like, Blade kicks ass. Like, you look at Blade. Blade was the first, you know, but Blade, a lot of action, just kicking ass, taking names from the very beginning. Like, Blade I would put above this. So that was 98. Blade 2, which so many people hate for some reason, I would put above it. That's the thing. It's not a bad film. I liked it, but there's so many other films I would put above it. I do think X-Men 2 was an improvement. Now that you got the introductions out of the way, it felt like the stakes were elevated. It felt like there was a bit more action. I mean, the attack on the school, Wolverine got to do a bit more. They never used Rogue as much as in the future. Like, they kind of set her up as a big piece of the puzzle in this first one, and afterward, you never really did much with Rogue ever again. I mean, she had a little bit of romance with, almost called him Ice Storm. That'd be, imagine that movie was called Ice Storm. I mean, that character. But like I said, the sets, the lighting, the actors. It was an introduction. There was, I'm sure, a good inkling that this was going to be a hit, and there would be a lot more of these movies to come. And then, X-Men 2 came out, was even more successful. Most people call it the best X-Men movie. And then Bryan Singer, he would do X-Men 3, but he wanted to do Superman Returns at that time. They pretty much asked, hey, can you wait? And they're like, no, we can't wait. So then, Brett Ratner doing X-Men 3, The Last Stand, which I do have fun with. I am entertained by it as a popcorn action movie. It did feel like a movie that was much more of a faster pace, which is Brett Ratner style. Money Talks, Rush Hour 1 and 2, which is why a lot of people don't like it, for other reasons as well. Although you did not have to kill Professor Xavier off. That was a stupid idea. That was a dumb idea. But I don't hate X-Men 3 like a lot of people do. After that, though, like X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past, and I don't give a rat's ass about any of those movies. I really don't. Even Wolverine, like, the only one I didn't mind was Logan. But again, like, here's the thing with action movies. I'm more into Die Hard, Rambo films, the Commando, Death Wish 3, martial arts films like Enter the Dragon or Bloodsport, Delta Force, even John Wick films, Nobody. Some films are recent. Like, those are more my cup of tea. Those are more my draw into action films. There are superhero films I enjoy, but it's just, if they said we're going to ease up on comic book superhero movies, I would not shed a tear. I'll put it that way. If you bind to that sacrifice so much, why don't you do it? And that's the thing with Magneto. If he's so damn gung-ho about this, why does he sacrifice his own life into this? So it shows he's a full of shit guy. Mutate the world's leaders, UN conference. He doesn't know his machine kills. You wipe out everyone in New York City. Because we have to raise the stakes. If they're turned to mutants, it'd be like, okay, I mean, it'd be a pain, but the fact that he doesn't know and they'll be murdered, then that definitely ups the stakes of either all of New York dies or we gotta do something. Those are their suits. I think this is where you get the line coming up. Yeah, should go outside in these things. What would you prefer, yellow spandex? Well, I mean, it's kind of like mocking the comic book, but it's like I do maintain the Matrix was a reason why they went all black, because the Matrix was 99 and this came out in 2000. And, you know, you look out the Matrix, oh, it looks so cool. They're all dressed in black. Trinity and Neo, everyone dressed in black. Maybe they'll say there's other reason for it, but I don't know. Back in black in the sack. Oh, did that come back? Screw loose. You lose. Yeah. I'm sorry, just moving. Move it to lose it. But I mean, you have 4 heroes here, so it's a bit easier to maneuver the powers for each one to get their moment to shine. And the thing is, you only have, like, other than Magneto, well, I guess, yeah, no, that's not true. You have Mystique, Magneto, Sabretooth, and Toad. You call that a landing? No, I call that a drop. I will drop my foot up your ass. You give me any more lip. It's the torch. Maybe the Ghostbusters are in there. There's some slime at the museum they gotta stop. Of course, the metal detector. Oh yeah, I forgot she could look like this statuary. I forgot about that. Keep your eye open. Definitely interesting fight. Yeah, Wolverine versus Mystique. I just like, you know, we didn't get to see Wolverine do much, so if you're gonna make it count at the finale. Ray Park showing some of his martial arts moves there. Separate and conquer. Then each one's got to get their moments to shine, so you got, you know, this would be a bit of Jean Grey. What do you think you're doing, Ray Park? Yeah, stop right there. Freeze. Now throw his ass against the fucking wall. Yeah, don't piss off a woman who can control the weather. It's not really the best course of action. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I did a little bit of his martial arts, trying to be Darth Maul in that bit. Damn. There you go. Show that bit of agility from Mystique. That's kind of the issue, is that you have this claw. Okay, you got adamantium claws, but you can't do much because of the rating. And then, even though she's a villain, it's like, well, if you have her, have a punch in the shit out of a woman and cut her up, not only would it change the rating, but just be so much other stuff to it. So you're kind of at a disadvantage movie making wise. So it's like you gotta have Wolverine get beaten up and not be able to do much punishment onto her until it counts. But on a visual note, it definitely, Mystique has a unique appearance to her. There you go, now you piss Storm off. And then you don't want to piss off someone that can control lightning. And we never do see Toad again, so this is when he dies. I guess same with Sabretooth, because you never see Sabretooth again either. So. This is where you get that really stupid line I just remembered. Do you know what happens to a Toad when it's struck by lightning? God, such a stupid line. Same thing that happens to everything else. I mean, is that even supposed to be a one-liner? Like, what is that even supposed to be? That's like, no shit. It turns to a toadsicle. I mean, whatever else it could be, but fucking hell. But it's kind of a nice, unexpected moment. Again, using his senses. But the Mystique does not die. I guess even they knew she was a unique appearance individual, so we'll need her for later. You're a dick. So that's 2 taken care of for now. Now you got 2 more. And there is some pretty bad CG coming up on the Statue of Liberty when Wolverine and Sabretooth are fighting. But again, it's 2000, different time, different way of doing things. I know. I'm sorry, I was going to say, I know they're not going to try to put the X-Men into the Marvel Universe, just now Fox owns, Fox had them, and now Disney owns Fantastic Four and X-Men, so now you don't get that being milked. Guarantee you don't see some of that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I would not be surprised. There's got to be something with the X-Men in there. Well, in the trailer, one of them you see Professor Xavier. I swear you see Patrick Stewart as Xavier. Which... Oof. Whoop-de-fucking do. I just... It just... so... Instead of stories and characters and plot, we gotta worry about Easter eggs. Yeah, I saw them die, dickwad. You're going to murder these people. But it's like, oh fuck it, oh well, they're humans. They're not mutants, so fuck if they're murdered. Instead what you're gonna do is start a war. Even more of a war. I do remember Wolverine makes a good point here, which is the point I just remember now. He says something I said before. You're so full of shit. If you're really so righteous, it'd be you in that thing. And he got him because he doesn't say a single word. He just stares at him. Exactly. Exactly. He has no rebuttal for it because he's right. I forgot he said it. That's good though. That's good writing. That at least someone brings that up. That you're so full of shit. If you're so righteous, it'd be you in that thing, not her. And it's true. It's absolutely true. So pretty much Wolverine stabbed through himself to get the stuff behind him. I think this is when you're gonna get the fight. Yeah. This is, Wolverine versus Sabretooth. Which I guess, they so many times these movies they get multi-picture deals, but there's a lot of times that never comes to fruition. I'm sure they wanted to make more Hulk films with Eric Bana. That never happened. They wanted to make more movies. Vin Diesel after Chronicles of Riddick. Right after that didn't happen. All the Mummy, the whole Dark Universe, all those movies that didn't happen. I guarantee you they wanted to make Catwoman secret, like all this other stuff that never happened. So, yeah, put Sabretooth in there in case there's no other sequel, no other way. Yeah, this is the bait here. This right here. Rough. That's rough. But, back to the day is like, oh, wow, that's cool. To be fair. Back in the day, that was cool. Ring around the rosy and then shove claws right into his chest. He's still not dead. Geez, I don't think you really established that Sabretooth is supposed to have like the same type of powers as him. But again, after this, you never, other than the prequel, Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was another thing. Remember there were no X-Men Origins Magneto, X-Men Origins, blah blah blah, and that didn't they didn't do that anymore. And you had Wolverine saying bub. There you go. Now that's teamwork. And I guess that's really the last time you see Sabretooth. Because you never see him again. Again, that's using teamwork. Storm lifting him up, Jean controlling him, and Wolverine to cut some shit up. And now cut it. Like, cut it already. Cut it already. Cut it already. Cut the shit already. What are you waiting for? Cut it. I think this is where Cyclops is able to hit him, right? So again, that goes more into the teamwork. Again, this whole effect with this, what do you call it, mutant bubble, it looks pretty bad. That does not hold up. Whatever the hell you call this white cloud, it just looks pretty shitty. It does look pretty shitty nowadays. As I said on the Windows XP. I mean, it was the time, it was 2000. Hit that motherfucker. There you go. Again. But I guess, see, that's another thing. If you are playing a franchise, in a way, you're trying to start off small. Otherwise, there's nowhere else to go. If you do the biggest thing ever, then if the next one you want to go bigger, how do you do it? It'd be very tough to do that. Although I wonder if there's been a movie where it's humongous the first time, and each movie gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, I guess, yeah, truthfully, it's when movies go direct to video, because they have no budget. So actually, that has happened a lot. What am I talking about? Movies start in theaters, then they go direct to video. Yeah, it's smaller because we have no money for it. The power of Christ will compel you to heal. Heal, woman, heal. Let the power heal you. Yeah, it takes a lot of his healing ability, and he'll go into a coma as well. Damn, tearing a lot of his flesh. It's like, MPA is like, nope, that's all the blood you don't get. No more. Of course, they made her hair like that because even in the cartoon, Rogue's hair has a little bit of that streak in it. And it's definitely it's still a different type of Rogue compared to the X-Men cartoon, which I remember liking the X-Men cartoon, X-Men the animated series. That was a fun cartoon. And there's Mystique. Cheating bitch. So what? They don't really leave Magneto to the authorities. I mean, in the fucking car, he could just pick the car up and go wee. Like you're not gonna. I don't get why they would leave Magneto to the authorities. I mean, again, in the middle, he'd be like, doop, 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 boom, done, goodbye. So I don't know about that. I mean, I know he eventually in that prison, but still. From there to the prison, there's a lot of chances of escape, so to speak. He's just moving a little bit, so he wasn't 100% knocked out. Because we gotta have him move a little bit to showcase he's not dead, but at the same time, if he's moving that much, then there you go. Fantastic Four? No, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, they just don't keep milking this comic book stuff again and again. I mean, from TV, you got what, Moon Knight now? All these characters, and then there'll be a reboot of Iron Man, there'll be a reboot of Hulk, there'll be a reboot of Captain America. Well, there kind of is, but still. In the Winter, the Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. But they'll do X-Men, they'll do Fantastic Four, they'll do all sorts of stuff. And people say it's a 10 out of 10. Does that have anything with Marvel? Means it's a 10 out of 10. Top 10 box office. Nothing else. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. This is Wolverine getting a little bit of answer, which he finds a bit in X-Men 2 with Colonel Stryker, played by Brian Cox, who was the original Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter back in the day. Yep, and that's Mystique. There you go. Number 1 shows Mystique is still alive, and there you go. Mauled by a bear, huh? Yeah, at least get your hair out of your mouth. Well, thankfully the edit saved that, because when she stopped, the hair was like right here in her mouth. Cut to him, cut back, now the hair's out of her mouth. But yeah, they don't really do a lot with Rogue in these other films. I mean, other than the little love story with Iceman, but like I said, there's not a whole lot. X-Men 3, they do this thing like she wants to be tiered, and then really nothing comes of it, or was she tiered? I don't remember. I don't remember at all. But yeah. That's the sad thing with Hugh Jackman. He's a talented guy. He's just, other than X-Men, he just picked a lot of bad projects. Like Swordfish, I can watch. Van Helsing, he hoped that would be another franchise, but that didn't work out. You know, and it is sadly Van Helsing is not good, but I could probably watch it compared to stuff nowadays as a time waster. Not even, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's underrated. I could watch it like noise, like background noise. I don't know. Sometimes you have those films where the CGI offends me, the villains offend me, but I like Hugh Jackman himself. I think that's why. Like, I like Hugh Jackman as an actor. I want to like him, and the closest character outside Wolverine that I could like is Van Helsing. Because I think he's good in it. It's just everything else. Or pretty much anything else. Apparently, these two did not know how to play chess, so someone had to come in to show them how to play chess. I do think X-Men 2, you didn't have to go straight to Magneto as the villain again. I think that could have been saved for like another film. But, because they do have other villains, but I guess, hey, Magneto. It's Ian McKellen. Why not use Ian McKellen? He's a good actor. And of course, you see there's no metal at all in any vicinity around here. You can imagine how much this fucking cost to build. And to be honest, the sequel, like Stryker, was a villain as well. Directed by Bryan Singer, piece of shit. David Hayter, for what I understand, not a piece of shit. Bryan Singer story, piece of shit. Lauren Schuler Donner, have no issues. Avi Arad seems like a dumbass. Stan Lee, rest in peace. Richard Donner, rest in peace. I forgot he was executive producer on this. Newton Thomas Cito as DP? Yeah, I forgot how short this film was. 1 hour and 35 minutes. And there's like 10 minutes of credits. Holy cow. There's 10 minutes of credits. It's 1 hour and 35 minutes without the end credits. Nowadays, that would be 30, 40 minutes longer. And you know it. This would be 30, 40 minutes longer. Holy shit. But wow, 1 hour and 35 minutes, it's not too bad. That's how it was back in the day. That's how it used to be. And yes, I can watch a longer film. I liked the Batman. Hugh Jackman got second billing, while Patrick Stewart got first. Ian McKellen third. Then Halle Berry. But yeah, the cast is definitely a big plus. Overall, watch it again. I don't mind it. I liked it. This is one of those films I've seen maybe twice in the span of 10 years. I mean, it's not like Aliens, Predator I would go back and watch over and over. Again, I probably have seen this since it came out over 22 years ago. I could probably count one hand. Bad Hat Harry production, that's Bryan Singer's production. That's a nod to Jaws, when Roy Scheider said, "That's a bad hat, Harry." That was also the company he had when the TV show House MD was being produced. Because he was an executive producer on that. Which I love the TV show House MD. Looking at the other actors, see if anything comes to mind. Alexander Burton, that was one of the people who were accused. Bryan Singer of being a piece of shit. Stunts. Is anyone in stunts? Let's see. Not recognizing anybody right now. James Simon Kim, maybe. Yeah, Kevin Feige there. Associate producer Kevin Feige. But yeah, that's X-Men. Like I said, issues. It's definitely not action-packed compared to what we see later on. Not only in these movies, but other movies. But it did a decent enough job establishing and introducing its characters. The cinematography, the sets. A lot of it was shot on location, or not in front of a green screen. The score isn't too bad. It's not too long of a film. Does not overstay its welcome too much. I mean, 1 hour and 35 minutes. Hugh Jackman did a fantastic job, as did, again, Stewart and Ian McKellen. The others did fine. Well, I mean, having to balance, like, you don't have a lot of character development on Storm and the others, like, other than their powers, and Jean Grey and Cyclops maybe have a thing together, you don't know much about them. So I guess I shouldn't say there's really a lot of character development, to be fair, but yeah, you really don't. But I just meant, like, in the finale, they each had their moment to feel essential to the team in that way. It's a film that took itself fairly, seriously. Like, it wasn't goofball, cornball stuff. The effects don't hold up that great. I mean, the finale with the, whatever the hell you want to call that, mutant, magic ball, blob, what, I don't know, net, what the hell do you call that thing? But that was pretty bad. Yeah, and it's weird seeing Sabretooth where, again, based on this timeline, before it was Liev Schreiber talking and conversing, and now it's Tyler Mane, who would go on to, I think he was Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween films, the guy who plays Sabretooth here. Is that the same? It's a stunt rigger, Jonathan T. Kwan. Is that the same one I'm thinking of? Stunt rigger. Is that... I gotta look this up. Sorry, I gotta look this up. Because if it is, that is surprising. Because... Sorry, I need to check this up real quick. I think it is. Yeah. Stunt rigger Jonathan T. Kwan. That is Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. It says uncredited. No, it's not. It's right here. I just saw the credit. So he's not uncredited. It says Stunt Rigger uncredited. No, I just saw the credit. It's here. It's just under Jonathan T. Kwan. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy who was Data in the Goonies and Short Round in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. And then he was in TV show Head of the Class. He had a small part in Encino Man. He's in that new one, Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh. But, yeah, I did not know. He was... Some short film called Voodoo in 1999? But yeah, Stunt Rigger and X-Men. I wonder how that came about. Because he was also assistant director to the action choreography, uncredited for the Jet Li film from 2001. Assistant director to the action choreography? That's a crazy title. And he was assistant to Mr. Yoon. Okay. And it says here, an X-Men assistant fight choreographer and a translator for Mr. Yoon. Is Corey Yoon maybe working with Ray Park? Huh. Yeah, I guess probably the fight between, like, what Ray Park had, and then with Wolverine and Mystique. Huh. Wow, Data, Short Round, worked on X-Men. Learn something new every day, so there you go. For those who stayed at the end, that's a tidbit for you. Data, aka Short Round, Jonathan T. Kwan worked on X-Men. And The One with Jet Li. And this is back today with DVDs, like the DVD features on this. This is when you had these extensive DVD menus. These are the features. Extended branching version, Fox Special, The Mutant Watch, Bryan Singer interview, Hugh Jackman screen test, trailers and TV spots, art gallery, and animatics. This is when DVDs were becoming a fairly new thing. DVDs were becoming more prominent around 99, 2000. I mean, it was not a new thing. I mean, it was a new thing. What am I talking about? It was a new thing. But yeah, this is like a... Mutant Watch is like a 21-minute making of with interviews. Like, it tries to be like a fake news report within the movie, but then it cuts into interviews about the making of the film from, back in the day, that is. But yeah, with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.